What's up, everybody? Joe Carlton here. Welcome to episode 12 of Aces Up podcast. With week 1 of the regular season right around the corner, I am very excited to be part of what the Sports Affiliation has in store for 2025. Tonight, my guests are indeed members of the TSA family. We will have the beloved Tipp Major and one of our new additions, Ric Avery. We will be discussing their upcoming projects for the 2025 season, as well as getting into some fantasy football talk to prepare you for your upcoming drafts. As always, grab yourself a cold beverage and enjoy the show. What is up, Tipp and Rick? How's your day going, brothers?
Good. Yours?
Good.
Tipp? Man, look, I love the intro. It had a little Nirvana little sound. I like that. I got my Nirvana shirt on. Shout out to Nirvana, bro. Like, I like that. That was dope, bro. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I like the intro. JC did such a good job on it. Never gets old to me. I was thinking it was like emo Metallica, but now that you mentioned Nirvana, there is a little bit of a Nirvana.
I got a little Nirvana vibe from it for sure, man. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I tell you what, man. Other than these people who leave dog crap on my damn lawn every day, and I'm gonna find out who this person is. And this is a PSA from the TSA. If you're that type of person that leaves dog crap on the yard, shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that, because that. It's a terror to my lawn, and it's a terror to my shoes, and I'm tired of it. So I just had to say that.
It's just downright disrespectful, man.
Straight up.
Really, I mean.
Straight up.
Nice. So before we get into some fantasy football talk, I want to talk about what you guys have planned this year for the Sports Affiliation. So why don't we start with you, Tipp? Why don't you tell us what you will be doing, what projects you got going on this year for us?
Yeah, I'm excited to be back with the Sports Affiliation. I took a little bit of break during the off season, but excited to be back with you guys. I'm going to be doing a show called Fantasy Nuggets, and it's a quick 15-minute show. It's going to come right in between the last game of the afternoon, so that 4:00 game, and then right before the Sunday night football game. So it's going to be 15 minutes from 7:30 Eastern to 7:45. And it's going to be a real quick breakdown of what happened during the day. It's going to, if there's any injury concerns, we'll talk about injury concerns. We might try to get some injury experts on as well to kind of give us some insight. We may have some surprise guests come from time to time. But like I said, it's quick hits. It's talking to you about fantasy football. It's getting you ready for your Sunday night game and your Monday night game as well. And it's just it's the most thing that you guys got to get out of it is that it's all love and it's all fun and it's much respect and love that you guys give to us at the TSA. We just want to reciprocate that and bring it back to you. So I'm excited about it.
Me too, Tipp. We appreciate that. I should say I appreciate it too. But anything you want to do for us, you got that open invitation. You know that.
Appreciate that, man.
Rick, you're new to the team. I decided to bring you on. I know you're an extremely sharp individual when it comes to fantasy football. You've drafted next to me for 3 years, and all 2 years you've made the playoffs both years. So that already is impressive to me. So why don't you tell us what you're going to be doing for the sports affiliation this year?
Yes, I'm doing a show called Friday Night Draft Fight, where I will have a guest on Friday night, of course, and we're going to be building DFS lineups against each other. We'll be drafting our teams. First player picks first, second player picks two, and so on, like playground rules. The winner the loser has to donate to the winner's choice, which I think is great. And the difference between this setup compared to regular head-to-heads on DraftKings is there's no overlaps with players. So if a player gets selected, the other team cannot draft them. So that's going to be a good strategy show for sure.
Okay. You have any charities in mind?
Not yet. Mainly just local ones currently.
Okay. All right.
And maybe I'll throw Fantasy Cares in there for a few episodes as well.
Okay. I like this. I thought the concept was awesome. We need to bring a little DFS to the table. We don't really do much DFS content, and I know that you love DFS. You know my hate for DFS. Although I'm gonna try to get into it. I'm gonna see what I could do this year. Maybe I can, surprise. We'll see if I can learn.
And mainly, I just want to play against people that write about fantasy football. So why not?
Yeah. You're gonna bring on some guys. You're gonna get to meet some cool people, some cool analysts, and do a show with them, have a conversation. That's the best part. You get to meet all these new people. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. All right, so why don't we move on? We're gonna. I want to promote the Sports Affiliation Listeners League. We are going to be doing a Listeners League. If anybody is interested, I'm going to discuss the details now. Let me just bring it up real quick. There it is. Okay. So we're going to do a 14-team listener league. I believe it's going to be 10 listeners and 4 TSA members, although I have a feeling it's going to be more than 4 TSA members, but we'll see. The buy-in's going to be $50. We'll be giving away a belt to the champion. There's also going to be more stuff, more prizes and details to come as far as that goes. But the format will be 1 quarterback, 2 quarterbacks, 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, 1 super flex, 1 kicker, 1 D, 7 bench, and you'll be allowed 2 IR spots. It's going to be full PPR. Tight end premium, but the tight end position isn't a requirement. So you can flex a tight end, but there's no tight end.
Well, wait, why? If it's a premium, why wouldn't you want to do that though?
I don't know. JC made the rules.
Yeah, no, JC, you gotta relook at that one because look at that one, JC.
He wanted it to be unique.
Okay. Oh, that is unique.
He wanted it to be unique, and I believe that's going to be his answer. There is a first down bonus. Doesn't say how many points. Passing TDs will be worth 6.
Okay.
And we're using Scott Fishbowl 13-14 kicker scoring. So extra points are going to be 3.3. And then field goals are worth whatever the distance is. If it's 45, it's 4.5. It's 52, it's 5.2. But the extra points are going to be the distance as well, 3.3. So to give it a little twist, give kickers some value.
I like that.
He's still working on the defense and special team scoring, but there will be 1 defensive special team. We're going to be streaming this draft live. It will be a fast draft. We'll be streaming it live. It's going to be on Labor Day at night. We haven't decided the time yet, but it will be later on in the evening. And that's pretty much it. So if anybody's interested in joining, you can reach out to me, JC, Iggy, even Rick, DM one of us. We'll get you in. And then, that's pretty much it as far as that goes. I want to get into some fantasy football discussion now. I haven't asked anybody this question yet. I thought this was a pretty cool question. So, Tipp, why don't you talk about a recent draft or a draft that you're currently in? Which players you got a value on? Were there any players you decided to reach on? And if you did reach on somebody, tell us why.
Yeah, I'll tell you, first of all, who I decided to reach on. I decided to reach on Braylon Allen because I was in the Flex League draft, and I had him queued up, and I was ready to be aggressive because you're in that league with a bunch of sharks, and Laquan Jones does it. He goes ahead and picks him around before I was going to pick him. So I knew Laquan was on him. I've seen some posts about him. I made some posts about Braylon Allen. So that's the guy that in my last draft that I was just in on Sunday, I reached for him. I think I got him in like the 10th round, and his ADP is going around, I would say around 11, around 12. I've even seen him slide into 13, and I think it's a mistake. I love Braylon Allen this year. I think that all the writing has been on the wall, what they're saying about Breece Hall, what Breece Hall is saying about his role, about the Jets are going to be more of a running-based team now. I know they got Justin Fields, but still, they're going to utilize the running backs, especially with his toe injury, or him recovering from it. So I really, really, really like Braylon Allen, and it didn't take long for us to see what he could do on the field when he played against Green Bay. Had that 12-yard stumper. I mean, the dude kind of looked a little bit like Derrick Henry if you go back and look at it. It was crazy. He just thumped through it. And one last thing I'll say about Braylon Allen, he is going back to an offense that he's used to at Wisconsin. He's talked about it. He's talked about how excited he is in it, his role in it as well. So I think Braylon Allen from jump is going to be a player that we can use on fantasy. And then another player I think I got value on, I think I got value on Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, I know, he's got injury concerns. I know his efficiency last year was very poor, but you can also look at the quarterback who he was throwing to him. It's a big upgrade, not a massive, but a big upgrade from Daniel Jones to Russell Wilson, Jameson Winston, or even maybe Jackson Dart, the way he's been looking. So he's got an upgrade at all levels from the quarterback. So I think that he could be one of those players that that he's targeted quite a bit in the game. All those underneath routes, they got a run game as well. The offensive line, maybe. But I think he's going to be a player that's going to be utilized around the line of scrimmage. And they said he's been getting down the field too. So he's fully recovered from that knee injury that he suffered a couple years ago.
I like him in PPR. He's definitely
love him.
Yeah. I want to add the Braylon Allen thing. I do think the Jets are going to run the shit out of the ball this year. So that's definitely leans in his favor. And I didn't realize how young he was.
He was the youngest player last year. Yeah,
he's got a peak we haven't seen yet. So
we have not seen it. And the thing about it, Rick or Joe, I'm sorry, I knew I was going to do that. But the thing about it is, it's a young man's sport and it's a young man's position. That running back position, when it seems to me, the more touches he gets, the harder it is going to be to tackle him. He's like one of those guys. So you're just gonna have to keep feeding that kid the rock, and I'm curious to see how much he's gonna get, fed throughout the course of the first few weeks of the season.
So now, with that being said, I did notice Breece Hall has fallen from the 3rd round to the 4th and 5th, even sometimes the 5th round.
Yeah.
Are you buying that dip, or
I'm not?
I'm
not gonna say I'm not buying that dip. I wasn't buying the 2nd, 3rd round. He slipped into the 3rd round here recently. In the last few drafts I've been doing, I'm not in favor of that at all. 5th round is interesting because by that time you've already set yourself a base, either a base running back system or a base wide receiver system, and he can be that other guy at that point. So if you went 2 running backs, 2 wide receiver, him as your 3rd running back, that's not a bad flex. If you went wide receiver heavy and he's your 2nd running back, I'm kind of leery on that. If it's the 5th round, I wouldn't want to do it then.
Awesome. Were there any observations from the draft that was different from drafts that you did in like June and July? What did you notice? Any differences?
Yeah, that's a good question. I started noticing that the Trey McBride is still taken like in that second round. I saw in one draft I was in, Derrick Henry was taken after him. T. Higgins was taken after him. I know T. Higgins is dealing with a little injury, but Tyreek Hill was definitely taken after him. And it's like those are guys that I'm wanting to invest in because they all have touchdown upside. Trey McBride has no touchdown upside for me. Now, he might get 4, 5, 6 touchdowns this year. Okay, that's great. But I'm going based off of what I've seen history-wise, and what we've seen is over the last 7 years, 2.5 touchdowns. If you go back to college, a year, I'm not down with that. I need my tight end scoring points. I love the yardage that he gets. I get the receptions. I get it. But I want my tight end. I want my wide receivers to do that. My running backs to do. I want my tight end getting in the end zone. I want him to be a guy that can get in that end zone. And so that's why I kind of steer away from Trey McBride at that point. And I think people are panicking. They see Brock Bowers go, and they're like, "Oh my God, I got to get that tight end." And I think you can wait. If you don't get Brock Bowers, I think you should wait.
Okay, well said, Tipp. Rick, let's move on to you. Tell us about a recent draft that you did or that you're currently in, and it's almost over. Which players you got value on, who you reached on, if you reached. Tell us why.
So I got 2 examples for value. Both of these were charity tournaments. First one was Warrior Bowl, and in that one I got Bijan Robinson at 111.
Wow. What?
It's Superflex, right?
It's Superflex, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And in that one, 9 quarterbacks were
Obviously
selected in the first round.
Wow.
So at that point, Chase just went, and then I just got Robinson at 111.
Wow.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
What
and
else
then
you got?
and then what I'm doing right now is another charity one is Paulie's Playoff, and I got Christian McCaffrey at 2.6.
Oh wow.
That's pretty good value, yeah.
Which is also another Superflex league, but that one's more
It's still good value.
Yeah, and that one's more tiered PPR. So more yards they get, the more points they get. So I thought Christian McCaffrey should be going a lot higher in that particular spot, just because he can take a screen to the house pretty much whenever, based off their blocking.
You can get those 8-9 reception games too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then anybody you reach on, or you got more value picks?
No, just those 2 for value. And then the league I run that you're in, the craft beer trading league, I was desperate for a tight end because 20-something tight ends were gone. So
because you convinced me to do Bowers McBride. I have Bowers McBride in this league, Tipp.
Oh wow.
It's tight end premium too.
Oh,
he was.
Hey, you know what? I did. Well, not quite that. I did Bowers and Hawkinson in a tight end premium league, and I think that's gonna be nice too. But yeah, I like that. I love that. That's because those touchdowns that Trey McBride isn't gonna get, Brock Bowers will get them for you.
Right.
Nice.
But I was desperate for a tight end, so I think I got Chig.
That's a good choice.
12.
I like Chig.
Round 12, just because I was desperate for a tight end at that point. I usually don't draft a tight end high, regardless as if it's tight end premium, just because I don't like drafting tight end that high, just personal preference. But that time it kind of bit me because everyone was getting all the tight ends, so I just had to go for it and take one.
At least you got a decent one with upside. I mean, I think Chig has a real good chance of being the number 2 target there. I like Ayamana too, but I think he's gonna be mid-season, or maybe like right around mid-season. So I could see, and then they could be playing from behind a lot of games, and I like Cam Ward, so I think he could possibly provide 3 fantasy assets in that offense. So
yeah, and then
I'm in on the jig.
I have another reach, Xavier Worthy. Before the draft before the Rice news broke, wasn't getting.
When did you take him?
4th round.
Single quarterback or super flex?
Super flex.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So would you take him in the 3rd round in a single quarterback draft? That's basically where you got to get him.
He's dropped significantly since July. So at least the drafts I've been in. So he's going like 4th, 5th-ish now, and Rice is going up. So I would take him in the 5th, but I probably wouldn't take him in the 4th right now.
Okay. All right. Did you do any early drafts other than Scott Fish? Did you do drafts before that? All right. So tell me, give me 1 or 2 things you noticed that's different about drafts now from drafts then.
So the Xavier Worthy thing, a lot of injuries. Injuries are fluctuating. Trade rumors of players is fluctuating a lot. Other than that, it's pretty even.
Okay.
Like a player we'll probably discuss later, JCM on the Commanders has blown up in like the last couple of weeks. So,
well, I want to talk about 2 things I noticed since I started drafting early and now. The preseason player, a lot of the players getting hype in the preseason have definitely shot up the boards.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks ago, I did a draft and I got Trevion Henderson at 6'4". Now he's in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
and it's like what is happening?
Well, I mean, even Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt or Bill or whatever you want to call him. The same thing. Like I was in a draft. I was in a mock draft. It was a mock draft, but I was in a mock draft and he went in like the 8th round, and like we were like lambasting the cat because we were like, what are you doing, dude? Are you serious? You seriously, like, come on, like, what's going on? And he didn't say anything, but I think it's getting ridiculous with him.
Me and we'll talk about him in a few minutes.
We will.
But,
that was just a warm up, people.
Yeah. Sorry.
So me and Steve D'Angelo took him last night in a high stakes draft in the 9th round, and it was because we needed an RB3. We kind of did a zero. I shouldn't say zero RB. We took Bucky in round 2, which, wasn't you guys know how I feel about Bucky. I think it's the worst round 2 pick there is, but
I mean, I think it's okay if he's your flex option. I guess at this point, it's a high paced offense. We're gonna get into it, people. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first guy we're talking about. So, Tipp, why don't you go right into it?
I mean, okay. So, look, it's a high-paced offense, and we get it. They're gonna score points, right? There's gonna be points galore. Brian Robinson Jr. They are shopping him as we speak. So the hype has been on him the whole preseason on Bill. And everybody's been talking about him. We've seen what he's done in practices. We've seen what he's now done in games against the Bengals. So, like, we got to make sure we understand what we're looking at, people. Like, we're looking at, first of all, the Bengals. We know who they are as far as defense goes. And they're learning a new defense. Ugh. And then now you have to worry about the whole situation with the Brian Robinson thing, the Rodriguez thing, Austin Eckler. Like, they're gonna have. There's multiple running backs in the system that do multiple things that the team needs. They're gonna need somebody in 3rd down for 3rd down protection. They're gonna need somebody to catch the ball, Austin Eckler. They're gonna need somebody who can run in between the tackles. Maybe it's Bill. Maybe it's Jeremy McNichols. Maybe they keep him on the roster. It's just a lot of maybes for me to move the needle too much as far as like getting him as my 3rd running back. 4th, 5th running back, I'm cool with it. But the way he's probably going to start shooting up in drafts and been shooting up the last few days and even into the weekend, people are going to be like, man, I drafted this guy and like now he's not really doing much for me. You're going to be trying to shop him and you can't really shop him because he doesn't have the name yet. I mean, he's got a name, but he doesn't have a name, if you know what I'm saying. And it's just, I'm out on it, man. I'm not down with it. I'm much rather have Braylon Allen. They're not going in the same area at all, but if I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to be aggressive on him. But that's just me.
Rick, your thoughts on Ja'Cory Crosby merit hype?
I mean, he had a decent game against Cincinnati. He had 11 rushes for 46 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown was like 20-some yards. Showed good vision. Other than that, 10th round maybe. I think the hype's just getting out of control.
Yeah,
for the most part, from what I've seen online.
So another player in that backfield getting a little bit of hype is Chris Rodriguez. How do you guys feel about him?
They said he would be like the goal line carry type of guy.
Right.
That's what the coach speak was, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, what? I'm gonna get a goal line carry guy to be disappointed because Jaden Daniels is running it in the goal. There's several teams that I'm out on their running back room. This is one of them, and there's another one we'll talk about later. I'm just out.
Right. It's probably they're all going to cannibalize each other. My next question was going to be, if Brian Robinson does not get moved and he is still there, how do we feel about the situation?
I still don't want to touch it.
Right. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't. It completely kills JCM's ceiling. But do we think? I happen to think that it's possible we could see a mid-season emergence from him. Do you guys have any confidence in that?
If there's an injury or two, possibly. Right. I mean, I think there's going to have to be a lot something like that is going to have to happen in order for him. I think it's going to be a hot hand approach. I don't think anybody really emerges from it. Somebody might get injured. Hopefully not, but it's football. But yeah.
Right, an opportunity. Yeah. That's what happened with Bucky last year.
Right.
Rashad White missed a game or two, and then Bucky just you couldn't take him out. You couldn't pull him off the field after that. He was playing too good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's going to take something like that as well. But I mean, it could happen. So I mean, like you said, 10th round seems about right. We took him in the 9th. We needed a third running back, so we had to pick the highest upside pick that was there at the time, and it was him. Everybody else was gone. Braylon Allen was already picked. So yeah, we had slim pickings at that point. But
I mean, I got him in Scott Fishbowl in like round 16. So if he starts, great.
Right.
Yeah. That's when the time to draft him.
Right.
That was the time to draft.
Exactly.
In June and July, he was going at the back end of the draft. Those people
maybe not even drafted, right?
Yeah. Those are the ones cashing in. So before we move on, I had a question from a friend today. Rick answered it in the chat, and I gave him Rick's feedback. But Tipp, I'm going to ask you, Rick. I'll let you explain after, but. A friend of mine, I play poker with him. He's a retired detective from the city I grew up in. I play poker against him. Hadn't seen him in 10 years. I bumped into him at the casino over the weekend, and then saw him at a grocery store shopping yesterday. So I seen him 2 times. So I feel like I owe him the answer. Like that's like a sign that this guy should, and he's like, I got like 20 teams. You do a fantasy podcast. And so I want you guys to help him out here. He's in a 10-team Superflex league. He drew the 101. He wants to know if he should take Jamar Chase or a quarterback. What's your thoughts, Tipp? It's full PPR. It's Superflex, full PPR, and 6-point passing TDs.
Okay.
10-team league.
Okay. I'm still gonna go with the wide receiver or running back. I mean, if you want to do Bijan, that's just me, guys. Just because even in a 2 QB league that I've been in several of them. I'm able to get guys like Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott, or C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert, or like one of those situations.
I'm going to say this is him because I forgot to add that context.
Oh.
It's 3 wide receivers.
Oh,
it's a 3 wide receiver as well.
Okay. So for me, then I want to have an advantage on. I want to get that running back. If I'm going to do this, I'm going for the running back. That's just me. So I'm going with Bijan.
Explain. Yeah, explain.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bijan just for the simple fact that he can give you all of it. He can give you the running back. He can give you the receiving. He can give you the touchdowns. He can give you everything. Jamar Chase, well, let me ask you this. Do you get points for carries and stuff like that too?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. So still, I'm going Bijan Robinson. It's just too good of a thing just not to have I think the absolute best player on the field this season, as long as he stays healthy. Now, if it is a 3 wide receiver, you might, after you get that stud running back, then go bam, 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 wide receiver. Because now you got that stud running back, that guy that nobody else can touch, and then go bam, 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 wide receiver, and then go and see who your quarterbacks are going to be. And you might be surprised. You might see a guy like Baker Mayfield there. You might see a guy like Justin Fields, who, okay, he's not a good reality quarterback, but he's a great fantasy quarterback. You might even see guys like, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes there. Like, you're going to see players there that are still available, even in the Superflex League. It can happen. So that's my philosophy. Go stud RB in that situation.
Rick, the question really was Jamar Chase or a quarterback. But I know how you feel about Bijan. I know how you feel about Bijan, Tipp.
Thank you for letting me get on my rant.
Nice. Rick, explain. So you answered Jamar Chase because it's going to give you more flexibility. When you said that, I immediately knew what that meant, and I gave it some more thought and decided that you were 100% right. So why don't you explain what you mean by that?
Well,
why you would go Chase?
I'd go Chase because the odds of everyone else taking a quarterback for the next 9 picks for the first round are going to be very low. You'll probably get like maybe 3 or 4. And then in the second round, you might get 3 or 4. So you're still guaranteed like a top 10 quarterback in the second or the top of the third when it comes back to you. So you go receiver, or receiver running back, and then quarterback, and then get your next quarterback in like the 5th. Yeah, you'd be fine.
That's what I was thinking too. At the 2-3 turn, there's probably still going to be a top 15, a top 12 even running back quarterback.
Yeah, you should probably get like a top 10 quarterback, I would think, in a 10-person league by the second, third. Yeah.
I asked them. Go ahead, Rick.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone's going to be double dipping quarterbacks the first 2 rounds.
Not in a 10-team league, I considered that too. And when he asked me, so I've never done a 10-team Superflex. I've only done 12. But when I play a 10-team single quarterback league, I feel like the elite quarterback gives you an edge because of the chances that, there's only 10 teams. So there's going to be less lineups with holes. Like almost every lineup is still going to be competitive. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the elite quarterback gives you an edge because that, they score more than the QB5 and the QB6 and the QB7, 8 all the way through. So you get an edge.
But that's only Josh Allen, though. I mean, yeah, Lamar, but that's it.
You don't think Hurts and Daniels are part of that?
No.
And perhaps Burrow in a 6-point passing touchdoon?
Burrow,
okay. Now you're talking a little bit. Yeah, because I think Burrow can touch 50.
If everybody stays healthy, yes.
T. Higgins is a little big, but I think he can touch 50. I seriously think so. I think he's an MVP candidate again. They just got to win. They got to win games. So, I think Burrow can touch 50. For those who haven't heard, T. Higgins left practice today. I
Rick said he returned. Did he return, Rick?
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
He did
Maybe
return.
Precaution. Yeah.
But
it's never good to see it with him, though.
One thing about T is he's always got that injury prone next to his name, man. It's always been the case. It's always why I've shied away from him. But I feel like this year, like Joe Burrow, I consider Joe Burrow the best quarterback in the NFL. Like, I could be. You can call me biased because I'm a Patriots fan and I hate the Mahomes, Brady comparisons. But Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL.
He is,
in my opinion. If I had the number one pick and I wanted to pick a quarterback for my NFL team, that's who I'm picking.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
And I just think he hasn't won his Super Bowl yet. And he's going to be on a mission. And if all of his offensive weapons stay healthy, man, he's going to have one hell of a year.
I agree.
But all right, so let's move on with the preseason hype players. Number 2, we're going to go. Rick, I'll start with you on this one because you are a New England native.
I'm
Trevi.
New England transplant.
New England transplant. Yeah, that's right. You're originally from Denver.
Outside, yeah.
Trevion Henderson. Give us some thoughts on Trevion. Are you buying him? Are you picking him in the 3rd round? No, in confined league. We'll say confined leagues because we know tournaments. There's people that have him in the 5th and 6th round, and maybe actually I don't think I've ever seen him go in the 7th, but he could have. It's possible.
Maybe
but
like
now,
back in like.
Yeah, but
June
now he's living in the 3rd and the 3-4 turn is where I've seen him go, and even the middle of the 3rd round. So, give us some thoughts on that.
Well, he kind of blew up when he returned a kick his first play. So, I'll buy Trevion Henderson. I have him as my RB2 from this class. And with Genty being 1.
Right.
So that's pretty good. He's got Vrabel likes to run the football. And if with Ramondre Stevenson's fumbling issues, if that's still a thing, he should get most of the work between him battling Stevenson and Gibson. So yeah, I'll take him for sure.
Tipp.
I think that with Trevion Henderson, I believe he is going to be that guy that makes the offense go. Not only that, I think that he is also the way they've used him in preseason. It seems like they've used him all over the field. He's one of those gadgetry guys, but he also has speed. He could be used in the kickoff return. So if you have a return yardage league, he could be a guy that you can look to. I think you're going to use him as a weapon for this offense. So I'm high on him. I don't know if I'm quite high to take him like 3rd or 4th round. It's just because I don't know if I want to invest in. There's running backs that or young rookies that I want to invest in. I don't want to invest in too many of them because they're still rookies. So if I have a situation where I have like Ashton Genty on my team, I'm not going to invest in somebody like Trevion Henderson because even though Ashton Genty I think is going to be fine, he's still a rookie and it might take him some time. I don't want to have 2 players that's going to take some time with that. So in a redraft now, dynasty, forget about it. You do it. But redraft leagues, I'm going to go out there and just say I'm still leery about it just because we don't know the usage situation. It's Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel doesn't care about your fantasy team. He's a Belichickian. Like it's just it's kind of some red flags there. But I still don't deny the talent.
So I'm going to chime in a couple of my thoughts about Trevion in the usage. I believe so my projections, I have Ramondre getting 180 carries still. This is obviously Byron. They play a full season. Ramondre getting 180 carries and still hovering around 20 to 25 catches.
Okay.
I got Trevion at 160 carries, but for 50 plus receptions.
pretty even.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty close. I think Trevion gets more work. If the team, so if I think the Patriots are going to contend for the playoffs. I mean, call me biased, whatever, but I do know Josh McDaniels can utilize 2 running backs as well.
Yes, he can. Yes,
especially when our wide receiver room is still developing.
Yes, he
can.
But
that's why I project it the way I do. But if the offense if the team is competing and they're still in a playoff hunt come like week 8, week 9, week 10, I think you're going to start to see, as long as he's healthy and he can handle it at that point, I think you're going to start to see Henderson take over the role a little bit more. Or, like you said, Rick, if Ramondre's still got fumble issues, or if he's got what do they call it, the case of the yips, or whatever the hell they call it, if he's playing like that, then they're going to ride Trevion even more, which will concern me because I do worry about him being able to hold a full workload. I don't think he necessarily can. He was part of a committee in college with Quinchon, and we do know that he has been injured in the past. So, shout out to Steve. Appreciate you for tuning in, brother. I'm glad I bumped into you, and hope you keep listening. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Trevion. I should have bricked when the Patriots took him in the draft. I did not expect that. I'm so happy they did because I want to say that he's better than Genty, but people look at me all crooked if I say that. So I'm not gonna force that issue. But I kind of
you barking up the wrong tree right now.
I know that. I know. Well, you're a Raiders fan. You
better watch it. Watch it, sucker.
You're a Raiders fan. All right, Tipp. Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, I mean, is it a good situation? Like, I'm looking at this like you still got George Kittle, you still got Christian McCaffrey. The ball's going to run through them majority of the time. But then you look at a situation like George Kittle, he's such a willing blocker and such a good blocker that Ricky Pearsall could get open for some, So like, I kind of like the situation. I like where Pearsall is going because if you have a situation where you get Ricky Pearsall as your 4th receiver, your friend that you had, and he's got a 3 wide receiver group, right? Remember I said get that stud running back and they go bam, 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 wide receiver. Then you focus on some other positions and maybe a little bit down the line go with somebody like Ricky Pearsall. I'm down with that. I don't want him to be my 3rd wide receiver because look, I was looking at some of the passing stats for the 49ers in 2024, 31 pass attempts per game, 2023, 30 pass attempts a game, 2022, 29 pass attempts a game. They like to run the ball over there. I mean, that's a Shanahan thing. He likes to run the ball. He likes to use deceptive plays in the passing game, and utilize blockers down the field. That's great. I just think sometimes Ricky Pearsall, he'll have a blow-up game, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, there he is. And then, I may have like 2 or 3 games where you're like, where the hell did he go,
All right, Rick, your thoughts on Ricky Pearsall?
I'll buy Pearsall. I'm just looking right now, and he's
what's his ADP at? 6.
He's like 8 or 9.
6, 7 turn. No,
I've seen about 8 or 9. Yeah. 8 or 9. He's starting to maybe creep up into the mid 8s, maybe this like late 7s, but I've seen him 8 or 9.
Yeah, he was like 10 or 11, so he's going up. And one reason he's going up is the 49ers have no one. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 injuries on the wide receiver depth chart right now. So if these injuries continue, I will buy the Pearsall dip and draft him 8th round easy because they're going to throw the ball 20, 30 times. He'll probably get like 8 targets, and I'll be happy with that.
It seems like every year they're battling injuries. I mean, at certain positions that are all positions are meaningful in football, but there's certain like profile positions that they need. It's like last year, Christian McCaffrey. Year before that, offensive line guys, and now the wide receivers, and it's just like they're always battling something there in Santa Clara.
Yeah, and with Ayuk gone for probably the first 6 weeks on the pup, I'll still take him.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on the situation. So I've never really been a Juwan Jennings truther. I feel like they rely on him on third downs, and they use him. They give him more volume when they have no choice. Like Ayuk was out, CMC is out. Yeah, he's going to have a couple of spikes here and there in that situation. But never really a fan as far as a fantasy asset. He's a better NFL wide receiver than a fantasy football wide receiver. So his ADP in the last week in high stakes draft is 61, and he's gone as early as 49. So that's a 4-5 turn. That's a little rich. I like this guy's like. I think I'd rather take a shot on a Booker or even Rashee Rice or Jalen Waddle in that range. But that's where he's going right now in high stakes drafts. It's like you mentioned, Rick. He's primed for volume early on with the injuries. CMC, Kittle, and him really. And Juwan Jennings. Now we do know that Juwan Jennings was looking for a new contract, so I don't know if that's going to affect his play or not. But I don't like those type of vibes around, especially if the contract doesn't get addressed going into the season. So that on top of the fact that I already don't like Juwan Jennings. I don't think he has any he has no consistency and no ceiling to him. So, I'm in on PSL. I don't think I'll reach in the 4th round, but 6th round, if back at 6th round seems about right.
You say something there, Joe. Like, you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to reach. Every player is a player you want on your team because every player has an opportunity to do something special each year. But you don't want to reach for that guy. You don't want to be that person that, like I did. I reached for Braylon Allen because I really believe in him, but it could backfire on me, man. I've been talking about it. This could really backfire, man. I reached on a player when I could have got somebody at maybe a better value, like an Ibuka or something, or Golden. But yeah, it's one of those situations. You got to be careful with it. But
where you reach though, reaching in the 10th round. Would you say you reached 10th round?
Yeah, I did 10th because he's going around 12, 11, 12.
Reaching at that point is a good reach, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that too.
You know what I mean? It's pretty deep in the draft enough that it's not going to kill you if you miss. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to move on to rookie wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan. Rick, give us some thoughts on Tet.
Well, he has a hamstring issue, which is concerning. Other than that, I'm all in on Tet.
His ADP is 35 in the last week on high stakes drafts. He's gone as early as 23, which is nuts. But yeah,
wow.
And as late as 47.
I got him in the 5th round, and my beer league I was talking about earlier. He's playing a weak NFC South division. The only team you have to worry about is the Bucks, but they're going to throw the ball to him no matter what. So the volume there, and that's all I care about, volume. And if he's getting, and just a preseason game he played, he got 7 targets. So if he gets 7+ targets a game, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love him. I love him. I mean, we saw the preseason game. There's already a connection. That sideline catch that he made for 26 yards. That tells you right there's a connection. They've talked about their connection. They've met up in California. This is something that can resurrect Bryce Young's future. This could be one of those plays. Everybody talks about his stature, and I get it, I understand, but this could be one of those things that really help him with his maturity and help him with his confidence. And you got a big guy, 6'4", 6'4.5", whatever you want to call it, that can jump out of the building, can catch those contested catches, and get you touchdowns. So I think Tetairoa McMillan is a no-brainer. I got him in the 6th round in that same draft I was talking about. I'm looking at it right now. 69th pick in a 12-teamer. And
that's a score. Score. Yeah.
And you know what? People have been knocking at the door. They've been like, hey, what's up on Tetairoa McMillan? And I was like, I think I'm gonna stick with him right now, bro. Because I see the potential. And you brought it up, Rick. It's a terrible division.
Yeah.
So
the Saints, Bucks.
Yep.
Can't even think of the other two or the other one.
Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I had a show and we talked about who do you think is gonna move up in ADP as August rolls along. And Tipp McMillan was one of the first names that came to mind for me because, in my opinion, he kind of gives me like Mike Evans vibes, like rookie Mike. So
I put that in my I did. Yeah.
I think he's going to be huge. I think he's worth a 4th round pick. 3rd is nuts. Third, I'd have to be in like the perfect spot. I would have to look at like everything in the landscape and be like, wow, I think I have to take that here.
Yeah.
It would have to be one of those situations, but I'm down with picking him in the 4th round, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into Jacksonville running back Bashul Tutin. Tipp, just give us your thoughts in general about the Jacksonville backfield.
This is we talked about the Commanders and like how I'm out on that backfield. I'm out on this one as well, people. It's just you didn't hear anything about Tank Bigsby, and then all of a sudden now you're starting to hear about Tank Bigsby. And we've been hearing about this Bashal Tutin guy and Travis Etienne. The coach has been talking him up at the beginning of training camp. So, like, I don't know what to believe. I do know that Cohen is going to want to use 2 running backs because it seems like he did that last year with Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. He even sprinkled a little bit of Sean Tucker every once in a while.
Sean Tucker, my guy.
So it's like it's one of those situations where he could use all 3 of them or utilize 2 of them. And they can still have some fantasy asset, but damn, I just don't know who 2 of those are going to be. I don't want to take a chance. It's just I'm out on it, man. I'm out on him. I know everybody's talking about how great he looks and the preseason stuff, and I think I want to give it a year. Let's let this clean itself up somehow.
I like how you said give it a year because I took Tutin in the 2nd round of a dynasty draft. Mm-hmm. And my thoughts were that exactly. It's going to be a year before this guy is really, really fantasy relevant. But man, he's probably going to be good if he gets his opportunity.
And if you're in a dynasty, yes, my mind is in redraft mode right now because that's literally all I've been doing. But redrafting him, it's just not it's a headache to me. I don't want to deal with it. Dynasty. It's a different story because you can give yourself that year. You can draft him later on in rounds to where you can give yourself that year. Just sit him down there on the bench. Just sit him down there. Well, I guess not tax season anymore. If you maybe earlier in the season, but yeah, just sit him down there and just relax, take it easy, watch him make a few plays this year, and then see what next year brings.
Rick, your thoughts on Tutin?
Pretty much what Tipp said. It's an unclear backfield. I know it's ETNs to lose. I know Tutin's been doing like running plays with the ones, so he could be like the 3rd down back for the time being. But history kind of likes to repeat itself, so I hope it does ETN. But if he gets hurt, I think Tutin could be in that Bucky Irving role. But I wouldn't. If I were to take a pick on it, it'd probably be like round 14. So I don't know.
All right, so ETN's going as the RB31, right around pick 90. Tootin and Bigsby are going in the same range, RB43 and RB44, right around pick 100, 105 in that range. Sometimes they fall because, like you said, people are just avoiding this backfield. I will say this. I think that I'm drafting Travis Etienne, and my thoughts were he's in a contract year. This has a same vibe as Josh Jacobs a couple was it 2022 or was it 2020? I think it was 2022. 2022 Josh Jacobs was getting pushed down draft boards because of the Zamir White hype and everything else. He played in the Hall of Fame game, so that pushed it. That meant he wasn't going to be the starter. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, just like ETN. It's got too much of the same evidence written all over it, and I think people are making the same mistake. So I will take shots on ETN at that ADP, and I will take shots on Tootin. I do have Bigsby shares as well, but I only think that Bigsby is the touchdown dependent running back. I don't see him catching passes. And Tootin, it's going to take an injury to ETN, or maybe they move him at some point. It's possible. There were rumors before the draft that he could be a trade candidate. But I'm taking shots on ETN.
So what I would do is I'd probably redraft ETN, but like best ball stuff, I'd probably take shots at Tootin or Bigsby. Just so you get the ceiling, in case.
In certain builds, I feel like if you get ETN as your RB3 in certain builds, like if your RB2 is not secure, maybe you did Hero RB, and you took like somebody like Aaron Jones as your RB2. I don't mind ETN as your RB3 in that situation. So that's my thoughts on that. Tipp, I know you like him. You were on him early, so we're going to start with you on this one. Wide receiver, Detroit Lions, rookie Isaac Tesla.
Yeah, I love this kid, man. First I'm going to start off with what Brad Holmes said about him. He said that he was his favorite wide receiver in the draft, and they got him. And if anybody knows who Brad Holmes is, the GM of the Detroit Lions, you can talk to Greg Kellogg. You can talk to the Lions Syndicate guys. They actually had a show together, and they were going through Brad Holmes' draft picks and how well he's done. And I think he hit another home run here, fourth rounder. This has, for me, the makings of Amon-Ra St. Brown, but just can get it done, get it really done in the red zone. This is going to be a problem when this really, really becomes – who are you going to cover in the middle of the field? And then Amon-Ra St. Brown's strong enough to get yards after the carry. So, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a real big problem. And then you got to worry about Jahmyr Gibbs. I just think it's going to take some time. There's, one thing that Greg Kellogg did say that I didn't realize is, yes, they've been through some coaching and offensive coordinator changes, but they've actually lost 14 total coaches and assistants. That's a lot. That's a lot of names that have been circulating and talking of, familiarity and things like that. So that's going to be a big change. Hopefully they brought in some people that were already in the organization to kind of help mediate that. But other than that, man, that's a lot of change. So I'm going to be a little leery about how Tesla operates right away. But I think in the dynasty, you go for him. I did it in all my dynasty leagues. I got him late in rookie drafts too, because I just been hearing buzz about this kid, and we saw it during preseason. And I think this guy is top notch.
Yeah, I agree. I love Tesla from what I've seen. He's a bigger version of Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
He gets wide open in the flats. He catches it, and he's as tall as Mike Evans, so he could do jump balls as well. He's perfect.
And they're all willing to block too, man.
Mhm.
Oh my God. When you got when you got a team that's in sync and unison, it's beautiful. Football could be very beautiful, and we saw some beautiful football from Detroit Lions the last few years.
Yeah, he's my favorite player to watch this preseason was Tesla. I have another one if we talk about him, but he has been very good. I'm sure he's going to take over Tim Patrick's role as wide receiver 3 here shortly.
Yeah,
I agree with that. The way he high pointed that ball, first touchdown,
no, that was crazy.
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, Tipp was right. This guy is a pretty good wide receiver." That was my first thought, honestly.
I was like, "Yeah, that dude is he's something serious."
Is it Shador, Rick, or no?
No.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna skip Shador because we know that he got. When I wrote this show sheet before we moved the show from Tuesday to Thursday, Joe Flacco hadn't been announced starting quarterback yet. We do know that now. I will say this. I'm gonna put it out in the galaxy, and say that I really hope that he gets traded to Arizona.
Why?
Why? Because Kyler Murray stinks, and and Trey McBride deserve a better quarterback, NFL quarterback.
Oh.
That's what. But all right, so Rick, I'm going to ask you before we move on to the couple of questions after the preseason hype players. Is there anybody we didn't mention that you want to talk about?
Of course, Afton Chisholm.
All right,
my guy.
Let's hear it.
In the few games he's played, has 12 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is like the perfect slot guy. Great.
There it is.
Gets open. So good. And he went to the same school as Cooper Kupp in Eastern Washington. He's perfect. Perfect slot guy.
You like him better than DeMario, obviously.
Oh, yes.
I kind of agree with that. I think DeMario can't handle the volume. I think he misses. The second you start giving him eight plus targets, it's only a couple of games before he's on the IR again. So I like it. I like the Chisholm name drop.
Chisholm's so good.
That is nice.
Tipp, you have any thoughts on Afton Chisholm?
Like it's a Josh McDaniels system. You know what Josh McDaniels does with his slot guys. I'm just starting to I got him in one league so far, and I picked him up off waivers. I had some wide receiver issues, and so I just picked him up off waivers. I'm gonna do a draft this weekend. I might take a shot at him later in that draft too. Just because, again, it's the system that is going to need a slot guy. But look, could we see Travion Henderson? And maybe not in the slot, but maybe we could see him in the slot. I don't know. It's going to be really cool how they operate in this offense. But, yeah, I'm taking a shot on him.
Nice. Now, Tipp, is there anybody we haven't mentioned that you want to bring up?
Rookie-wise or
just in
preseason?
Just somebody that gained preseason hype, somebody that you're targeting in drafts that we haven't mentioned.
No, I mean I think we've pretty much covered everybody.
We hit all the relevant ones, right?
Yeah,
Rick brought up a good one though. Rick dug deep.
Yeah, that was a good one. But I mean, yeah, I don't think I can't really think of anybody else that I think we're good.
Can I give you one guy I'm not on real quick?
That you're what?
Yeah.
That I'm
not on.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Trey Harris.
I kind of agree with you. I think he's another one that's got to wait until year 2 or year 3. But go ahead.
Yeah. Just because I'm just looking right now it's just the preseason snap share. Trey Harris has 0% snap rate with Justin Herbert. So you got Keandre Lambert-Smith, who's pretty good this preseason at 63%, who's a rookie. So you could probably get him for free rather than drafting 12th or 13th for Trey Harris.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to some just straight up regular questions. Tipp, are you concerned about Devon Achane and Malik Neighbors, their injuries? Are we concerned?
Neighbors, I mean, he's a physical player, so he's just that's going to be a part of his MO, unfortunately. He's just that guy.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm concerned, yes, but I'm definitely concerned about Devon Achane. It's a soft tissue injury. Those things with a guy like him who, is a speedster, they can flare up at any moment. Any moment's notice, it's not right. Something happened. And then those calves are usually attached to the Achilles. So they got to be smart about this. And, that's one thing I think Mike McDaniels might be too smart. Like he's too smart. He's dumb. Like it's just one of those situations where he doesn't manage it properly. And you got all those other running backs over there. You got to manage this properly because he's a dynamic player. He's probably your most dynamic player. I mean, you can say Tyreek Hill maybe, but he's probably your most dynamic player. He's got to be smart with this one, man. So I was on him, in fantasy. I'm slowly just getting off because you got to get him in the second, third round, and I'm just not willing to. I was already kind of like ick about him being that early, and then having to deal with okay, he's only going to get 12 touches a total, but he does really well with them. But then I got to deal with his injury situation, his injury history, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Rick, your thoughts on Achane and Neighbors? Are they worth their ADP based on their injury proneness? I guess being injury
Neighbors,
prone.
I'm not going to worry about. He just missed 2 weeks due to a minor back injury, so it'd just be something to look into. But with Achane, he could possibly miss 3 to 4 weeks. So yeah, I'd probably hold off on drafting Achane.
How far would he have to fall?
He's gone as Achane has gone as low as 25 in the last week. So so he's not falling much.
Wow.
You see who do you see? We know Jalen Wright got hurt too. Do we like Ollie Gordon? Are we taking shots on him?
I've taken shots on Ollie Gordon. Yeah.
I have a couple shares of him. I took him in some early drafts, late, like 18th, 19th round. You know how I feel about the Miami handcuff. You laughed at me when I took Jalen Wright and Scott Fish last year, and he netted me nothing. So you win that one, Rick. But
yeah, I drafted Ollie Gordon and Scott Fishbowl this year, so I got JCM and Ollie Gordon in my team. So
that the Miami running back handcuff has value, in my opinion, contingent value. So
it can. I think Ollie Gordon is more of a. Jalen Wright's more of a similar back as in speed, but I think Ollie Gordon is a better pass catcher, so I think it will work out in his favor.
All right, so let's move on. Tipp, your thoughts on Brian Robinson being shocked?
Yeah, I think that he's expendable. They have an opportunity, they think, to look at some of these teams who need running back help, like the Cowboys, like the Texans. So it's one of those things they can capitalize on it right now. They probably, the running back position is evolving. It's becoming a little bit more included in the offense in different ways, but included in the offense. You're seeing more teams with multiple running backs, but they actually be valuable running backs. Because of how balanced teams are becoming. So I think that there's some teams that are looking at their running back depth right now or lack of it and are like, man, you know what? Brian Robinson Jr., he's a hard runner. He's a good, he can catch the ball. His vision's not that great, but he can run between the tackles. he runs downhill. But yeah, I think that it's one of those situations where I think the Cowboys, the Texans, I might be missing another team out there that needs running back help drastically. Maybe the Bears. The Bears might be another good
the Bears is a good one. And how about Miami? I saw
it. But it's just like ugh. Like everybody want to go to Miami. Miami's beautiful, by the way, but like it's not all sunshine and rainbows in Miami. It's doom and gloom over there.
Rick, what do you got on Brian Robinson being shopped?
I think he should go to the Bears, personally. Yeah, it'd be way better than DeAndre Swift, or they could split him.
Swift has a role so he's the pass catching bet. He's a slasher. He's a gadget guy. So if Ollie Gordon goes there, you mentioned Ollie Gordon, not Ollie Gordon, Brian Robinson goes there, it does make sense. It's like a good fit, right?
I think it is, yeah. Washington would never trade to Dallas, so that's not going to happen.
So you think Chicago's out on Rashawn, and how do you feel about Manungai?
I haven't watched much of the second guy, so I'm not. I know his first name's Kyle. I'm not going to pronounce his last name.
I think it's Manungai. I'm pretty sure.
No, you got it. Yeah, you hit it right.
A couple of really sharp people, including Doug Orth, is in on Kyle Manungai. So I don't know. I have some shares. I don't think that he's just. I don't think he's going to be some world breaking. He's going to make he's going to break fantasy, and if you have him, you're going to win your league. But I do worry about Rashawn staying healthy, and if it's just those three in the backfield, I think Manungai does carry some contingent value if they don't trade for Brian Robinson, of course. We do know DeAndre Swift is not a 3-down back for 17 weeks.
Yeah, and I've heard mixed things about Roschon Johnson in training camp too. I've missed the last Bears game. I saw the highlights, but that was more of a Caleb Williams game, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and look at that game, but because I heard the tight ends and everything were going off. So. And I want to see that offense. I want to see how it hums. But anyway, but yeah. So if they do get somebody, like if it'll tell us a little bit about Roschon Johnson, Brian Robinson. If they try to really go after him, because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, get Roschon. He can be the David Montgomery of this, offense." If they try to bring it back to like Detroit days,
So we already talked about what would happen if B-Rob got traded. There'd likely still be a committee. Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt would probably carry more late season value, and we know that Chris Rodriguez would probably be the goal line back and second in line, but it would more than likely still be a committee. So
right.
All right, so one guy I really liked coming in to the from this rookie class, and I think he'll be a great fantasy quarterback once he gets an opportunity, and that's Jackson Dart. So Rick, do we see Jackson Dart at any point this season as a starting quarterback?
I heard that they just wanted to have him sit on the bench for the year and then start next year, but I don't think the Giants are going to be any good record-wise, and they have a bye week 14, so I think after week 14, if not earlier, Jackson Dart will be in.
Week 14?
Yeah, or after week 14.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Bye weeks week 14, so it'd be 15, 16, 17, 18.
Nice. Tipp.
Okay, this is what I would do. I mean, this is just the thoughts of Tipp. You already got a tough schedule, right? The Giants have a tough schedule. They got screwed as far as the schedule goes for them. Yeah, he's done really well in preseason. He's looked the part. He's got his diamond necklace on and everything. He looks like he's got the swag, right, for an NFL court. This is New York, though. Like this is different. This is different, and I think that they sit him for the whole season. Let him understand this offense, but then you also got to understand Brian Daboll may be gone, so he's got to look at it like that too, because this is a situation where they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and get you Jackson Dart. Now, what are you going to do with him? Are you going to continue to lose and we're going to be a 6-win team, or are you going to put him out there? It's going to be a crossroads that he comes at. I always talk about crossroads at the middle point of the season. In this is going to be a crossroads for them. I think we don't see him unless there's a bad injury, because I think him being a young player, they're going to want to remember it's New York. He's young. He's still learning the concepts of the offense and the concepts of the NFL. You don't want to send all of that out there with a rookie, and it just breaks his confidence. And then you got the spotlight of him being in New York. That's kind of the way I look at it. I say sit the guy down this whole year, bring him back next year. I think next year he'll be more wiser. He'll be more prepared. And he might even be, because if he could become a superstar on the bench in New York, in that spotlight, he can, kind of keep himself humble though. And then maybe next year the fans will start to win him over and he'll be a little bit more comfortable. And, if those little mistakes happen, those pick sixes happen, because you heard about it. As soon as he got a pick six in practice, everybody heard about Jackson Dart's pick six. And that's New York. And so that he's got to be prepared for that. I think he's mentally tough. I don't know if I would do that to a rookie right away if I'm in a coach. But he's in a tough situation to coach himself. So there's a lot of situations going on there.
All right, so I want to chime in on the Daboll situation. In my opinion, I don't see the Giants fire him. I think they would have got rid of him already.
You think they're giving him a shot because of Daniel Jones?
No, I just don't think that they recycle coaches. They're not that type of organization.
They had Carlton for a while.
Yeah,
when they chose Daboll, he had a very good reputation already for developing quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
They got him a quarterback now. He's a decent prospect. I like that. Like I said, I was a fan of Dak going in. Yes, I agree with you, Tipp. I think he's going to sit for a good portion of the season. Rick calls it out perfect. Maybe they bring him in at the end of the year. Maybe if something happens to Russell Wilson and he gets an earlier opportunity, I think it only benefits him. I think that they should play him some this year.
And if they're already completely out of it, then you bring all the pressure's gone now. Now he's just playing ball. That kind of happened with Michael Penix last year. Like he was just playing ball. And he had the couple of 3 weeks that he blew up. So it's just it really depends on where they are. But I like that point you made about you don't think that they would fire Daboll.
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. I think he is a good coach. He's took over a struggling team. They're still rebuilding. Their defense is solid.
That line is oh boy.
You mentioned the schedule, so I think he's gonna have a leash. I do. I don't think they're gonna punt him just yet, because I think that it would have already happened before the draft this year, in my opinion, based on somewhat two unsuccessful seasons in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they stick with him. I think he's the Giants coach. I think that just because he's got the legs and he's a slinger, he slings it.
Yeah.
He's got Malik Neighbors. He's got a great slot weapon in Wandale. The defense is solid. If he gets in, Tipp is frozen. No, you're not frozen, Rick. Tipp has been frozen for most of the show, but that's all right.
I didn't even know, man.
We can still hear you. It's all good.
What about now?
There you go. Yeah, no, you're good.
my you know what? My computer went into idle mode.
I just happened to see the private chat for the. I don't ever pay attention to the private chat, but I just noticed it. Yeah. No, that's how I feel about the Giants situation. I don't think Dable's getting fired. I think, if that gets an opportunity, as far as fantasy football goes, super flex leagues, take a shot on him late. If he's your third or fourth quarterback, I think I can live with. I can live with him as my third quarterback if my first two are really good. Or if I, no, go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say I kind of see it like they'll go like Russell Wilson for most of the season, and then things won't work out. They'll try Jameis for a little bit, and then they'll try Jackson Dart after the bye week.
I hope he gets an opportunity because I think he needs to have some NFL experience this year. All right, so we're going to move on to Quinshon Judkins' situation. Rick, you shook your head, so I'm going to go to you first. He's going in about the 10th, 11th round now. He was going undrafted for a little while based on, the situation he found himself in. But we do know that the prosecution is not going forward with the case. That doesn't mean he's scot-free yet. The NFL's got to do their thing. So give us some thoughts on Quinshon.
Has he even signed a contract yet?
No, nope, he hasn't. The contract has not been signed.
I'm not taking him. It's just
right. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. We're in consensus with that. I agree. I think I agree. Now, who do we like, Dylan Sampson or Jerome Ford?
I mean, Jerome Ford was pretty efficient last year. Yeah. I'd go with Jerome Ford. Actually, I'd just go over who's typically what I do is I'd go for whoever's getting drafted later. That usually seems to work out for me. And I think Ford's going like a round or two after Sampson.
Sampson is RB 46, and I think you're right because I don't see Jerome Ford. No, Jerome Ford's going to be up higher. I think Jerome Ford is going earlier.
Oh. Well, that throws it out. But yeah, I would just go I would draft whoever's going later and go from there. But I like Ford. Ford's good. I haven't kept up with Sampson's preseason this year, so I don't know about him just yet.
He's a Tennessee running back, right? You played for see, you got to be careful with the Tennessee players, man. When they don't always convert to the NFL properly. There's one thing I know.
Don't say about that about Alvin Kamara though. I took some shots at Dylan Sampson because we just didn't know what happened with the Quinshon Judkins. The Cleveland Browns have a good offensive line. They've always had good offensive line. Well, not always, but the last few years, especially under Stefanski. But they just deal with these injuries every single year on the offensive line, multiple offensive linemen getting hurt. I think they run the ball a lot. Joe Flacco might get loose a little bit, but he's 40 years old, so they got to protect him. So, I think they're going to run the ball. I like Sampson. I like Ford too. I like what Rick said. Who was ever lower, go for that person. Because Jerome Ford, he always seems to get nicked up and dinged up, and those turned into games lost or games that he's not playing. So let's go with the young gun. Let's go with the young stud. Let's see what he can do.
So
and I'm out on Judkins. We said that. That's right.
So before the NFL draft happened, I have quite a few early best ball Jerome Ford shares because, like you said, Rick, he was highly efficient last year. He's involved in the pass game.
Yes.
He scores and he gets in the end zone.
Oh yes.
And to confirm the ADP, he is going behind Dylan Sampson. It's Dylan Sampson's RB 46 on NFFC high stakes, and Jerome Ford is 59. RB59.
Yeah, well then go with Ford then.
So, but yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, I do have a bunch of Sampson too. I was taking him during that whole fiasco where Judkins. We didn't know what was going to happen with them. I mean, we still don't know what's going to happen with them. But when that news was fresh, I started to mix in some Dylan Sampson. I'm hoping that he at least gets an opportunity. I don't know what to make of it. Like overall, I think it's pretty. Like you're pretty much getting what you get. So Rick's point about whoever's going later. I guess. I mean, maybe you take a shot on both of them. Maybe.
Well, I'm happy you said that because that is a thing I will try if I'm in a league that has. If I have 20 or more draft spots or rounds, 20 or more rounds, that's when I'll do handcuff. If I'm in like in a 14 round league or 15, I'm not gonna waste that pick. But if if I'm in a league where I have multiple I'm way over the rounds, then I can do that handcuffing thing a little bit easier. And taking both of them wouldn't be a bad shot. Just like taking Christian McCaffrey and then taking Isaac Rindo, and then maybe
Jordan James.
You could do that too. I mean, if you want to, I wouldn't maybe do all three, but you could do that too. Like it's just one of those situations that's a little easier to do.
I think Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson is a good one to take too.
Yeah.
Or but Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet.
Yep, that's another great one.
I'm taking just Charbonnet. I'm not picking Walker.
I think Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet is gonna have. I think it's gonna be closer to a 50-50 split. But if you have the Kenneth Walker player and he gets hurt, you're just gonna want to have Charbonnet.
The only time I'm targeting Kenneth Walker is the drafts that I don't take two running backs early, and I've been going two running backs early in a lot of my drafts. I'm not going to lie. I like the wide receivers in round 4, 5, and 6, and that's mainly my reason. I know it's cliche because of the running back dead zone, but I was never really a believer of the running back dead zone. I've hit on 5th round running backs. Leonard Fournette on Tampa Bay being one of them.
Yeah.
He went in the 5th round that year, and everybody was avoiding him, and he was a beast. The second year he was with Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. So I'm not but it's just in the 5th round, there's just so many good wide receivers just sitting there. It's hard to pick Kenneth Walker over them based on, Kenneth Walker being injury prone, pretty much. And Zach Charbonnet, actually, I believe he has standalone value, even with the healthy Walker. I think he's. I said it last night on the Face Off when I did the draft with the boys from the Face Off, and I said that situation reminds me a lot of Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams, and I feel like if Walker goes down, Charbonnet could have a D'Angelo Williams-like explosion, especially with that, the way they run that offense with the zone block and schemes and all that. We saw in preseason already there was holes big enough to drive trucks through. So both running backs are going to carry value, but if something happens to one or the other has huge upside, like league-winning upside. So that's why I'm willing to reach for Charbonnet. I know he's got like a 9th, 10th round ADP. I'm pushing him up. I'll click him in the 8th round if it calls for it. So, one more question, guys. We've been going in 90 minutes. I appreciate you guys for hanging in there and going over the hour benchmark, which I do pretty much 90% of the time. But I like my favorite podcasts to listen to are the long ones. So that's kind of I'm down for the long game all day, every day. But Tipp, one player that is now on your draft radar that wasn't before any of the positive camp report?
So the one
it can be somebody we talked about already too. It's not,
I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this Casey Washington guy in Atlanta. The coaches have been talking about him. They were talking about him last year. I think he had a concussion or something. He had something he couldn't play, and they're talking about him again. And now Darnell Mooney's hurt. They don't know when Darnell Mooney's coming back. They need another complimentary wide receiver to go alongside Drake London. I know they got Ray McLeod. I know Kyle Pitts. A lot of people, Michael Penix has been talking about him. And that's who you want somebody. If you want somebody to talk about somebody, you want your quarterback to talk about you. So, but I just think that if there's an opportunity for him and he's showing well in camp, he made a couple of good catches the last game they played. He was on the field quite a bit. He's got some speed. He's a bigger guy, bigger type receiver. I think he can. I think he can do something. This is like the last pick of the last picks, though, guys. Like, I just take a shot on him because I believe in the offense. Although that offensive line, I heard that they got a few new injuries that popped up, so that's a little nervous. But maybe Michael Penix can use some of his athleticism. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, I do like Casey Washington. That's the guy I'm taking in the last round.
What's up, Kala? Appreciate you tuning in. I thought that was spam for a second. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad you identified yourself. I love you and appreciate you tuning in, Kala. Rick.
Be two guys that we talked about: Isaac Tesla and Efton Chisholm.
Chisholm was going to be my one for this particular question, so now I got to think. Who am I now drafting? That what? I'll say Ollie Gordon. How about that?
Here you go.
He's now in play in redraft leagues. I think I already have a couple shares actually in high stakes redraft. I was taking him. I was sprinkling him in. Like when I get to the late round picks and I square away a defense, and obviously I wait till the last round for my kicker. But in that 19th round, I like to mix up who I take just for variance, and sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle that way, and you don't have to waste the fab. When first week rolls around and you realize who's out there for free agents because you did this early draft. So I do have a couple of Ollie Gordons. I'm glad I took him. And so he's on the map now. Jalen Wright's got an injury. A-Chain's nursing an injury. And McDaniel knows how to utilize his running back. So I think he's got breakaway speed. He's got pass catching ability. And, all he needs is some opportunity. So, and I don't expect Miami to be, I feel like they're destined for last place in the AFC East this year. And maybe the Jets. You think the Jets? You think so? It's going to be close. But, if I think that he could be in line for, 10 to 15 touches a game as long as A-Chain is sidelined. So he's got that contingent upside. And that's it, man. We've reached the end. Tipp and Rick, man, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm glad we worked through the schedule issues and we got this in this week. Rick, why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter or X at Ravery92. I will be doing the DFS show Friday night draft fight September 5th. I think week 3 I might do a pre-recorded show on that one because I have plans on that date that I didn't realize. But other than that, be live every Friday, 10 o'clock,
nice.
Typically.
Looking forward to that. What week did you pencil me in for?
Whenever.
All right. Tipp, why don't you tell the people where they can find you if you want to talk about any of your football stuff, guys? Now is your time for a shameless plug.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So sports affiliation. Obviously, we're doing the Fantasy Nugget show. I'll be popping into other shows as well. I love hanging out with you guys over here. And then obviously the football guys, we got something working. Talked to Bob Harris about it, and so I'm excited. So we'll see what that comes up. I can't really say too much just yet. Let's see. I do have an article that was out about 3-4 weeks ago with Dak Prescott. Some bold claims I made about him, and some contrary claims too, because some of the football guys, they don't agree with me, but it's cool. We still love each other. But yeah, it's that, and then yeah, man, just having fun. I might do some stuff for Odd Checkers too. I've seen what they're talking about. That might be more video content, but yeah, and hopefully I get to hear me on some radio spots pretty soon. So we'll see.
Nice, man. I enjoy watching you grow, man, because you were on the Thursday check down with Greg. You guys had faith in me taking over. You've given me great advice throughout the entire time, and I appreciate that. So
yeah, for sure.
Glad to have you guys on. Glad to have you doing stuff with the sports affiliation again, and. That's it, man. Next week, you can tune into Aces Up on Tuesday night. We have Nick Wilcox and Johnny Main.
Oh, those two guys, those rascals, those silly rascals.
I'm looking forward to it because I've been to Scott Fishbowl with them 2 years in a row now, and we've spoken, we've talked to each other, but we really didn't spend time together. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's some cool dudes.
And we went out until the expo. We spent some time together at the expo. We hung out in the patio. We went to breakfast. No, it wasn't breakfast. It was the Mexican joint we went to for dinner.
Oh,
for
lunch.
Yeah. We were all together there. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good episode. I think it's going to be a fun time, entertaining. And it's Nick has incredible energy.
Yeah, and
John is the exact opposite. He's like calm, cool, and collected, and they're just a great blend together.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to that next week, man.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I think that's all I got, guys. We want to get out of here. Let's get out of here.
All right.
Thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate the chat. Anybody who's listening now, we got I think we have 71 active viewers, so that's pretty good. That's actually a little higher than average. So appreciate everybody in there. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. If you're listening on X, go over to YouTube. Just hit the little thumbs up for us. If you're not subscribed to the Sports Affiliation, do that as well. We appreciate it. We got big plans for 2025. Rick and Tipp already told you about some of them. And again, if you're interested in the Listen to League, DM me, JC, Iggy, Rick Brusuelis, Greg Kellogg, Kala, Ric Avery, Tipp, anybody affiliated with TSA, you hit us up, you tell it, let us know you want to be in the league, and you're in. We got spots open still. It's a 14-team league. So other than that, I'm going to call it a night, and we'll see you next week.